with negative news. At the moment, it is really important how we deal with negative news. Because we are like bombarded with so many negative information, with negative news from all over the world. And as you might have noticed, this is influencing our emotional state, our mood in a very negative way. So now the question, how can we stay more or less informed about what's going on in the world, but at the same time stay positive and centered and in our power? As you might know, I have been working as a psychologist, as a coach, and I work also with energies and shamanism. And I have observed so many different behavior in my clients, so how they deal with negative news. And most of the time, the news are just lowering their vibrations, and they are creating like negative mood. So how can we better deal with that? So far I have observed 3 negative behaviors, how people, in my opinion, shouldn't deal with negative news because it's affecting their energetic state in a negative way. And I have, let's say, invented or developed or created a new way how you can deal with negative news and stay positive, and even use the negative news to have a positive effect on the environment and on yourself. So, first behavior which I have observed, which I wouldn't recommend, is when we receive the negative news, we become angry. We are angry about it, we can't believe that people are so stupid, for example, we start to judge, and we are really energized within a negative way. What is happening in that moment? Energetically, we are nourishing these negative news. We are giving them our energy because we are creating a negative energy which they have triggered within us. And we are staying longer and longer in these energies, which again affects them to stay longer. So this is way 1, which I don't really recommend. Way number 2 is that when we receive negative news, that we become anxious. That we feel like anxiety, and we are worried, and we are uncertain about what will happen in the future, and maybe we could be powerless and we have to obey, and oh my god, what will happen, and right? And we create in that moment the negative scenarios which even aren't here in the present moment within ourselves. So in that moment we are creating the reality which is triggered by the news within us, right? And in that moment we nourished it. We are nourishing it and giving it more energy, and then we will attract this reality in the future with greater probability. I don't think that we want that, right? But maybe there are people who want that. So again, it's your decision. If you want to go with the fear or heal that fear and create something different. Behavior number 3. There are also many people who say that they just avoid this news. They just don't want to hear about it. It's there, but we are ignoring it. What is happening in that moment when we are ignoring it in that way? We are pushing some of our energies into these news. And again, we are nourishing them. We give them our energy. And the most negative thing about it, we are attracting more of it into our lives. because we push more energy into that. So I also think that you don't want that, right? So what would be a better behavior with negative news? As you might know, there is the law of resonance, the universal law of resonance, which says that you're the projector and the outer world is like the screen. So you just attract what you have inside. And in that moment when you receive the negative news, of course something within you is triggered by those negative news, right? It means that you have a resonance to these negative news within yourself. So let's turn it the other way around. If you start to transform what is resonating with these negative news, then you will have a different, let's say, reality. You will attract a different reality in the outer world. So, example, you receive some negative news, you see some videos, some newspaper articles or whatever, and then you start to feel like anger or maybe anxiety, or you start to worry about what will happen in the future. Then you don't choose to take one of the 3 behaviors explained before, but just stay connected to yourself and just perceive how you feel inside. Feel where you perceive the anger in your body. Feel where the anxiety is flowing. Feel maybe the insecurity. And just perceive it and let it flow, without creating new negative thoughts and negative scenarios within yourself. Just stay with your emotions. And maybe you need to put your hands on your heart to just feel a bit calmer with that. Or maybe you need just to hug yourself, or just to breathe and to let them go, right? To really make them flow and transform the heavy energy of anxiety or fear into calmness or positive energy. So it's your choice. And now imagine you do that every time when you hear or read some negative news, that you center yourself, you calm down, you let it flow, you let it go, and then you're more and more centered and in your power. And the next time when you read some negative news, you will be more neutral. You will just read them and you know, okay, this is a possibility or possible scenario, or these are the facts right now, but you and your energetic system, you will know that you can change it. And even you can go a step farther by creating the positive scenario within yourself. It means that after having transformed the fear and the anger, you can start to imagine positive scenarios and create the energies that resonate with them. So, for example, you create that the scenario that people are connected to each other, that things are positive, that let's say that people are more happy in this planet, etc. And you create these images within yourself and positive emotions with that. And in that moment, you will attract more of these moments, right? And the good thing is that you can also create like a little new positive world for yourself, which will affect your people around you. And if you imagine that more and more people would do the same, so then more and more people would transform the old, let's say, negative stuff which is within them, and they would cleanse themselves of the negativity of, let's say, past experiences, past lives, or let's say negative experiences in this lifetime, from childhood, etc. And if more and more people would do that, and would create a positive inner world, then the outer world, because it's a screen of the inner world, would be positive as well. And then we would really create a new world in which there's more positivity. But as long as we stay with that negative resonance and we keep it inside, or we even put more energy into that negative resonance, the negative will stay. So it's your choice. If you really want to contribute to change the world into the positive, of course it's good to create groups and go to demonstrations. This is definitely important, but in my opinion there's also the inner change which everyone could contribute to and then create the new world together. So I wish you a lot of transformation, pleasure, inner peace and freedom. Thank you for watching this video.